could have those council members who are getting sworn in today stand there at your desk
or your position. Let's see.
Mr. Keller, I can't see you. I assume you're standing.
So
if you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
Do
Do
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the
and the
Constitution of the State of Arkansas. And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of City Council upon which I am now about to enter. Upon which I am now about to enter. Thank you very much. Congratulations, gentlemen.
What's wrong with Richard?
With that being done, we'll call the special call city council meeting to order at this time for January the 4th, 2021 at 4 p.m. Ms. Skelton, can you do roll call?
Ms. Caruth? Here. Mr. Harris? Here. Mr. Tripp? Here. Mr. Olson? Here. Mr. Harrell? Here. Mr. Westcott?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Keller? Here. Mayor Harris? Mr.
Here.
Smith?
Here.
And myself. You have a quorum.
Thank you very
much.
We'll move on to item 1 of the agenda, which is discussion regarding liaison position for the City Council to attend the board meeting for the Lattimore home. As we've discussed in previous meetings and via emails, there is a Friends of the Lattimore home nonprofit that's being established, and the bylaws of that nonprofit is that there would be a liaison from the City Council to attend that, to be on that board. So I'm recommending to the council that you approve a new liaison positions for the Friends of the Lattimore Tourist Home nonprofit organization.
So you need a motion from us to approve the position,
Yes,
to
that's
approve
what
a
I'm looking
committee.
for at this time.
Okay, so move.
Did I hear so moved?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And
it was
our second.
Mr. Tripp, seconded.
Thank you.
Any discussion?
Pardon me, Mayor. Is that a one liaison position?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
For how long? And is it a voting position or non-voting position?
It would be a
non-voting position.
Any other
discussion?
Hearing none,
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion carries. Item number 2, 2021 committee liaison assignments. There was an email sent out by Robin Johnson earlier today about two positions 8 and 9, and combining those into the new planning and development. So I would recommend that we combine those. I don't know if we need a motion for that to make that change before we go into the liaison positions.
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion.
So-
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
And his motion is to do what? Remove number 8?
Take eight positions 8 and 9 and combine those into a single liaison position for planning and development.
I'll second that.
We got a second? Discussion?
Mayor,
Yes?
do you know when that committee will meet?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, they have no set time. They have no set time.
They have no set time?
No.
This would be liaison position much in line with police department, fire department, and any other department. So you would just interact with them on an as-needed, necessary basis. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Motion
carries.
carries.
With that, I'll turn it over to
Ms.
Ms. Skelton
Skelton
to run the committee
committee
liaison assignments, starting with the most senior person. I assume you have that information together, Ms. Skelton.
Yes.
Most senior position to the least
So
senior.
this is how it will go. Mr. Brown is first, Mr. Westcott is second, Mr. Tripp is third, Ms. Caruth is fourth, and then the last four will draw for their positions. So
Okay.
who wants to go first? You're here. Pass it down.
I want the other one. I don't know what it is, but I think I want it. Which number did I get? Did I get whatever's left? Mine's 22.
That's odd. Okay.
Larry.
Sean, you're what?
What number are you?
Number 6?
Okay, so Sean is 6. Who has number 5? Keller? And Olson? And Harold, you're 8?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Alright, you guys go down the list. Mr. Brown, you're first.
Finance.
Okay. Mr. Westcott,
Finance Committee.
Mr. Tripp, Ms. Caruth,
Finance Committee.
okay. All right, Mr. Keller. The rest of y'all are
Yeah,
personnel.
they default personnel.
That was a no-brainer, but, okay. Okay, so now do we just need to go to the liaisons? So, Mr. Brown,
Fire department.
And that's number 10. Okay.
okay. Mr. Westcott,
Number 18, Public Works.
okay. Mr. Tripp, Ms. Caruth,
No. Police department.
where's that at? Thank you. Mr. Keller, what number is that? Okay. Mr. Harris? Mr. Olson? What number is that?
What did he say?
Parks and Rec? Mr. Harrell?
Number 2.
Mr. Brown?
ATU.
Where's ATU at? Okay. Brown. Mr. Westcott?
One moment.
He said 1 moment.
Cemetery. Number 5.
Okay. Mr. Tripp? Ms. Caruth?
Does cemetery have 1 or 2?
It has 1.
Just 1?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, did you want, can I trade you? Can I trade you?
Oh, that's cemetery.
If you don't mind to give her cemetery
What are you taking?
and put me on what's now number 9, Planning and Development.
What did we name that?
Planning and Development.
Planning. Westcott. Okay.
Which one?
Number
So
9.
Ms. Caruth is taking 5, which is the cemetery,
Yes, ma'am.
and then Mr. Westcott is going to take number 9, which is now the planning development. That's correct, right, Eric?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Keller? Mr. Harris? Oh, yeah, it's not here. 8's gone.
They're changed.
It's combined.
19 is Harris. Olson? Mr. Olson? Which number is that? I should know what it is. Boys and Girls Club? Which number is that? Oh, it's right here. The Boys and Girls Club, number 4. Mr. Olson? Mr. Harrell? Okay. All right, Mr. Brown, we're back to you.
Intermodal?
Okay. I just saw that. Where is that? Here it is. All right, Mr. Westcott?
So that leaves number 7, Civil Service, and number 11, Historic District.
Yes, and then there's number 21,
The Lattimore.
and then number 22.
What is 22?
It looks like the Stormwater Appeal Board. There's 2 places there.
Has anybody ever been to a
And-
stormwater appeals meeting?
I was on it all this last year. It's pretty exciting.
So there's 2 positions for the stormwater and 2 positions for the advertising and promotion, and then 1 for
Oh.
historical and then 1 for civil
Yeah.
servants.
I'll go with number 7, Civil Service.
Okay.
Thank you.
Civil service?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Tripp? Okay. Ms. Caruth?
What's left?
There's one, number 7, number 11, which is the Historical District Commission. Then there's 2 on A&P, and then there's 1 left on Stormwater Appeals. Where? Oh, and the Lattimore, I'm sorry. That's not on here.
IT was Mr. Keller.
Historic District Commission. We got that, we've done.
Okay.
We still have.
Mr. Keller? Mr. Harris? No, there's 2 on that, and then there's the Lattimore House. Olson? Mr. Harrell? I guess you're on A&P?
Do what?
I guess you're on A&P?
Yeah, I think that's
Pardon me, who was the 2 people on stormwater?
The 2 on Stormwater are Mr. Tripp and Mr. Keller.
Thank you.
Do you have them all? Or you think you do?
I do.
Okay. All right, that's all, Mayor. They're taken care of, so.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you, Ms.
Skelton.
Skelton.
It's going to be
It's going to be
exciting.
an exciting year.
Item number 3 on the agenda is the discussion and resolution of approval of the 2021 rules, procedures, and standing rules. In reviewing the rules and procedure this morning, I did have one comment that
and I'll open the floor up for council if they have any additional comments. On item 3.3B,
that's
that's
3.3
3.3
Bravo.
Bravo,
It says
it says
report from the Department of Public Works, part of the city council agenda meetings of the city council shall include a report from the director of Public Works what they're
what they're
designated
designated
to the city council on
current status of Public Works
projects
projects
of the
of the
city.
city.
That typically has not been done at every council meeting. I would suggest that we change the wording shall include a report on a quarterly basis from the Director of Public Works.
If I understand it right, one of the reasons why that was put into place and made a law, if you will, is because at the time there was such a lack of communication from Public Works to the City Council. Since that time of making it part of the rules of procedure, we have had more feedback from Public Works to this council than ever before. If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Tripp was one of the strong supporters of making that part of the rules, where at every agenda prep meeting, we would also have a report from the Director of Public Works. And so, not to talk sideways here, but I'll address my question to Mr. Tripp. Is that still a concern for us to have a current update at the finance and agenda prep meetings from Public Works?
Well, my thought originally, as you said, it stemmed from a lack of communication, and is much better, as Mayor Harris has said. But at the same time, what does it hurt to provide that information? It takes all of, 3 to 5 minutes typically? And if there's a month where there's no report, there's nothing to report. You know, I tend to lean, at least initially, towards leaving it as is, but I'm not necessarily, adamant about that. That's just my initial leaning, because it's an effort of communication and providing. If we're getting an update, but at the same time, anybody in the audience or anything that the media reports on from that meeting, it just helps get that information out.
You know, one of the advantages of having a liaison from the City Council to certain departments is that at the agenda prep meetings, if you will, any of the council has the ability to talk with that liaison and find out what's going on in that particular department. And I can certainly do that on behalf of Public Works. The downside of that is that's not my realm of expertise at all. And so unless there's a question of, hey, what are they doing? That's pretty much all I would be able to share with you, is the information that they give me on a little one piece of paper to say, here's the projects that are currently going on. And if you had any other questions other than that, I would not be able to help you.
And addition, also this is what we were all, nervous about passing last September in the renewing, and this is just goes through the transparency, if you will, of steps of providing the information to the public.
Yeah.
And if there's no report, there's just no report, it would be skipped.
Well, with that in mind, I move that we approve the rules of procedure for the City of Russellville as they were presented to us.
I do have a motion to approve the rules of procedures as presented. Do I have a second?
So no change from last year to this year, correct? Okay, second.
You need a second? What's wrong?
Did I get a second?
Yeah, second.
Okay. Discussion. Was there anyone else that had any items that needed to be changed or recommended changes in the rules of procedures?
Has anything changed from last year's to this year's?
Not to my knowledge. No.
Nothing to my knowledge. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mayor.
Opposed? Yes.
Before we leave, Robin wanted to make sure whoever has, which committees were those? Main Street and the Boys and Girls Club, that they present the agreement with those two companies or entities at next month's meeting or this upcoming meeting, that they present it, and it's their job or part of their duties.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and finish this vote at this point. So we have, I heard ayes. Is there any opposed? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Thank you. And, I understand, Ms. Skelton, we want Boys and Girls Club, and what was the other entity?
Main Street, it's the contract that we do, the yearly contract with them.
Okay.
Just needs to be submitted or supported by them and brought to the next meeting.
Okay, we'll just need to reach out to them, make sure that they're aware they need to
Mayor-
that for the council.
Mayor, for clarification, did we do the Alliance contract last month or something? We approved it
Yes.
for 2021. So that's the third one, so that's the one that's,
Right.
all right, okay. I just want to make sure.
All right. Is there any other items for the good of the council discussion this evening? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn, meeting is adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.